All right. So let's talk traditions today, Allie.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I know, me too. It's like I feel like this month we've had a couple like holiday themed episodes. And some other goodness in there too, but I mean, traditions I always kind of think of along the lines of holidays, even though I guess you can really have tradition all year long. What are some of your favorite traditions?
So, it doesn't have to do with Christmas, but it is a holiday. 4th of July in my family is huge. It's bigger than Christmas. It's my personal favorite holiday.
That's my favorite holiday.
And is it
Stop.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, what's not to like about 4th of
I
July?
love it.
I love it too. Nice weather, barbecue, games, parade, fireworks. Like, it's all so fun. And growing up, my family lived down south, and they would come up for the 4th of July. And so it was like just 2 weeks of fun. And we had everybody in the world over at our house. And where our house is, you could see the fireworks from like our yard. So everyone comes over. We have a huge barbecue, and we play like bocce ball and volleyball and everything. And like my grandfather would get in on it and stuff. It was just the best. We would wear matching shirts, which I love to match for some reason. Uh, like that just brings joy to my heart. And so all of us, the boys too, would all wear matching shirts. And when we were young, we used to put on like concerts, and just like that's my favorite tradition
Yeah,
is getting us all together and doing that on 4th of July. It's just so fun.
I love
How
that.
about you?
Yeah, I mean, the 4th of July is definitely my favorite holiday. I can't say I have I mean, I feel like my traditions have really changed since we moved. So I feel like we're still kind of like figuring out some different traditions. I mean, one that we've definitely picked up since we moved here is we love to go to the Christmas Eve service here at Star Point,
Yeah.
and it really
Great.
is so incredible. Highly recommend. They definitely like, of course, it's all about Jesus, but they put on a really good show, right? When you say
Yes.
that,
Oh my gosh. I love it.
yeah, it's so cool. My daughter loves being in the service too. Like you get to hold a candle and like it's
I know
very
they give them to the kids too.
I know. Oh my god, definitely
So
fire
wild.
hazard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they like that responsibility. So that's definitely one
Yeah.
of my favorite traditions. But growing up, Christmas Eve we would always go to my grandmother's house, and she would, of course, we'd go out to dinner and have so many sweets, and like she would make homemade fudge and all this stuff. But we would always find like sometimes she'd make a little muffin or it would be a cupcake, and we would always sing happy birthday to Jesus because that is really the reason of Christmas. So I always remember that tradition because Christmases would be at my house, when I was little, because I don't know, we would have my cousins over and everyone would just come to our house. I don't know why actually. But Christmas Eve was with my grandmother, and so now obviously we don't have that, and it's kind of changed, through the years, right? You see different
Yeah.
traditions. Like my brother would have a Christmas Eve party when we all lived in the Boston area. But now we're all spread out, so that no longer exists. So yes, I feel like we're kind of building different traditions. Like as we all started to have children, like my siblings and I, we were all like, well, we really want to be home on Christmas. So now really Christmas revolves around just my immediate family, where we pick a meal we want to make together, a special meal, and just kind of hang out and enjoy our new gifts, or really just enjoy time with one another, whether it's with a game or quiet time or a Christmas movie. What about you? Like, what's some of your favorite
I
Christmas
love that.
traditions?
Yeah. So growing up, my family from Alabama would be here for Christmas too. They would come 2 times a year, Christmas and 4th of July. Um, and we would do a bunch of stuff as a family, baking cookies, sledding, hot cocoa, ice skating, like all those things we did every single year. And it was awesome. But special traditions that hold dear to my heart that I want to pass on, um, was actually just my mom doing the smallest things, but they made the most impact on me. And she would read, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas on Christmas Eve. And she would do it in such like a theatrical way and just like so special on the couch, like just cuddled up together until literally she passed away. Like she did it every single year, even when we were adults, and she read it to Lainey and stuff. So it was just so special. And then before she would read that, we got to open one present, which were matching pajamas, again
Yeah.
with the matching. And that was so special too, because we all would wear the same matching pajamas and then read that story.
Yeah.
And the other small thing she did, which made such a difference as a kid, um, she would sprinkle like reindeer food out on the lawn and like throw it up on the roof.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, she went all out on these little things, but it made such a difference.
Yeah.
And she would put like she would get a ladder out and make like hoof prints on the roof and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh.
Especially when I was getting older and I was like, I don't think Santa's real and stuff. And she's
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me? Santa's so real. And like in the morning, she's like, oh, come outside and look at this. And like the roof was like all done. Thankfully it snowed. And so like it was just all done up.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I just hope that I could do fun stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I do think the little things are what you remember. Like Gray and I definitely do the advent calendar, and she loves it, and she definitely remembers it because I mean, I feel like kids don't forget anything. But she'll be like, "Well, Mom,
No.
this year you put this in there," and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna do what's this year, not what happened
Right.
before. Like, I'm still gonna put stuff in
Right.
there." But my mom definitely did that, so I feel like I kind of passed that along. I'm trying to think what else that I love to do, like little things. We did go see the Nutcracker a couple years in a row, but then I felt like she wasn't really like loving that anymore.
Yeah,
So I think it's okay to change tradition too as we go on.
for sure.
But those little ones like the books and stuff like that, I definitely love that. I remember one thing like every Thanksgiving evening, I would always stay over my so my grandmom's house, and we would watch Home Alone on TV. And I always remember that. And it's still on every Thanksgiving night. It's always on television. And this was before we had like Netflix, of course, and stuff where you
Yeah.
like could just get it. You had to wait for it to come on TV at like
Right.
8 o'clock, and you'd be set up and like ready to go. And so I always remember that. So it really is such like small little things, and they do mean so much. And I do hope I can pass that along. And like I said, I feel like the advent calendar is definitely one. Decorating the tree is always a big one for us too. Gray loves to do that. And our
Yeah.
tree is not, that like typical perfect looking Christmas tree. My
Yes.
mom gives us each an ornament every single year. So it's full of ornaments from my first Christmas all the way up through like Gray's first Christmas, and so on. So it's really like a memory from each year, maybe something that happened. Like she, got Gray a dance one this year because Gray is really into dance. And like when we moved here, she got us an ornament with a picture of our new house on it. So like stuff like
Aw.
that. So it's really special, and I feel like when we go through and decorate the tree, we're like remembering all these like really cool memories too. And it's something my mom absolutely loves to get us these ornaments. It means so much to her, and
Yeah.
then we get to do it together. So that's definitely a fun tradition that it's also
We
really
have
nice to remember.
Yeah, we have the same sort of thing. Our cousin Lindsay, who also goes to Star Point, gifts each of my kids an ornament every single year for whatever, like is special to them that year.
Yeah.
And it is so like you forget all the things, maybe that had happened or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or that they were into specifically. And just looking at because we decorated last weekend, and just looking at them, it was like, oh my gosh, remember when we did this? Or,
Yeah.
you know, like Lainey's first rattle, like a rattle was for her
Yeah.
first Christmas. And it's like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. I know, it's so special. That's definitely a really cool one. And as much as I would love a perfect looking tree, in like that giant cathedral ceiling room, which I don't even
Yes.
have, it means so much more to have these like just like cute memories right there in
Yeah,
front of my
for sure.
face for the whole month of December, where you're like, wow, I'm so blessed. Like my life is incredible because you just get to remember those like really cool things that happened each year, like along your life. So even
Yeah,
like
I
I
love
have
that.
ornaments of like my childhood dog and like just like
Oh,
fun stuff. I'm like, oh, remember Brewski, this is so cute.
yeah.
Or like I mean things that Gray didn't even know, one of my cats growing up. And yeah, so it's really cool. I mean, what kind
That was
of
fun.
traditions do you want to create for the future, like as your kids get older?
Yeah, so I love actually what you said, and we might steal that from you, as far as singing Happy Birthday to Jesus,
Yeah.
because although we have been believers now for about 7 years, like strict, full on believers, um, we have never fully, I we don't not talk about Jesus. We do, and we go to church, and we say it's Jesus' birthday. But I guess it truly has not been the center of our Christmases. And it's been on my heart to make that more of a thing and tradition moving forward. I think it's just so important that they realize that. So I think we're going to steal that tradition and make that moving forward.
Yeah, I need to get
Um,
back into doing it because I haven't. I mean, going to church, that really helps because obviously that's bringing the center back to Jesus, right? So like when
right.
we go to church on Christmas Eve, that's bringing that awareness back. Like, okay, this isn't a commercial holiday. This is actually like it's Jesus' birthday.
Right.
But yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, I think I should do that too. Like, maybe I will get something small and do that because I really did love that. It was like because there's so much going on, and it just brings that awareness back to all right, this is here for a reason. Maybe even
Yeah.
reading the story, which I'm sure they probably will go over that a little bit in church, but just the story of Jesus's birth and whatnot, or maybe a passage from it that resonates. Yeah, I
I
love
love
that.
that. So yeah, well, I feel like we need to incorporate more of that and make those traditions. I carry on my mom's tradition of the pajamas and reading Twas the Night Before Christmas, which I'll forever do.
Yeah.
I think my kids really enjoy that.
Yeah.
This year, I want to make this my tradition going forward as well. I just feel like it is so focused on like gifts and what am I doing to better something else, or and like we talked about earlier, like the perfection and all that stuff. And so I think just quieting it down, getting them the 4 gifts, like the need, the want,
I
the
was just
read,
gonna
and
say that.
wear.
Okay, so repeat that because like I forget this every year because like I said, I get kind of caught up in like, oh my god, did I not get enough? Okay, repeat
Yeah.
that.
So the 4 gifts, you do a want, a need, a read, and a wear.
And what was the last one?
So something that they want, wear, like a
Oh,
clothing item,
where? Okay.
like an
Okay.
outfit or a jacket or whatever, shoes. So it really, because my kids are so spoiled, and
Yeah.
they wake up, they open 1,000 presents that we went crazy on. And then I go crazy, like trying to make sure it's wrapped perfectly and under, it's just a lot. And then 5 minutes later, they have no idea what they got. To this day, I might even rewrap some stuff. Like there's stuff that's not even open from last year, like just straight up, just in their playroom, not even open. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So that's, I want to make it more like playing games and stuff, like minute to win it games. I've been going hard on figuring out what fun minute to win it games we are playing this year.
Oh, that's so fun.
And I'm making everybody do it. So anyone at my house, which I'm hosting, we're all playing those games. And it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So
I love
I
that.
want to do more stuff like that,
Stuff that you'll remember. I know it
Yeah.
is like I feel like also doing those like set gifts where it's the 4 gifts.
Yeah.
Then they know, right? Like what to expect. Because again, we're going off of like kids like to know, right? Predictability like makes them feel secure. So like, because my daughter again will like open all these presents and she'll be like, "That's it," and you want to like literally, my mind explodes. Yeah, right. So, but like, if we're not setting that expectation that this is what you get, these are your four gifts, and then whatever Santa brings, or the grandparents also, because that's hard to control too. But like if she knows that these are the 4 gifts that you're getting from us, and then it's a surprise what they are, that sets that expectation to not just be like loads and loads of stuff, and some of it's not even meaningful, like you said, because again we get stuck in that like, well, did I get enough? Or like maybe you buy it early and you forget what you got and then you have more stuff. So I mean I think I can't do that this year because I'm already too far gone.
Girl, I haven't bought one present yet. Not one.
You haven't bought one present? Oh yeah. I mean, that's kind of good because, like, I feel like when I do buy early, I do end up buying more. So if you wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I did get a bunch of stuff for Black Friday, just trying to get, like, stuff more on sale. But, yeah, I think I'm too far gone this year. But, like, I really want to start putting that into her head, like, we're going to do this year just to try to control it a little bit.
And I think that way, too, because, like, we'll give them the Amazon magazine or whatever, and I'll be like, pick 10 items that, like, you really, really want. and every single item in that magazine is circled, and so it's like kind of teaching them too, like, what is actually important to me, what do I actually really really
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
um because that way, it's actually useful and they like it and
Hmm.
it's special,
Right. It means
opposed
something
to
to
just
them.
like everything.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, with my family, so there's, oh my God, is there 10 grandchildren now? So Gray has a bunch of cousins, and we decided, because we're like, it's silly, right? The kids are just like getting useless stuff. So we try to do
Right.
like an event together, like to make memories by doing an activity together every year. So last year we went to Disney on Ice, and that was really fun. This
Yeah.
year we all got together for Thanksgiving. So we were all at my mom's. Like my brother flew in from North Carolina, and we all were able to get there. So not my sister, she's in Arizona. So we still usually do gifts with them because they just can't get out here for the holidays.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I mean, just having that memory, even like Grace said the other day,
Right.
she's like, I know Noah really likes Moana because we saw it on Disney on Ice. And I was like, so she remembered, instead of like being like, do you remember what you get for gifts last Christmas? She'd be like,
No.
I have no idea. Yeah. So just like making that memory, and like this year they got to watch Christmas movies together, go to a
I
Christmas
love that.
parade. So lots of like those traditional things that we got to fit into those 3 days that we were together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that means so much more than, silly gifts. Like we are getting them real small stuff because again, we can't do anything around Christmas, but it's more stuff they
Yeah.
need, not
Yeah.
versus like want. So
It's so important. From my family members, and Kyle's family, we ask for like things like Disney on Ice tickets or like gift cards to their favorite
yes.
places and stuff like
Yep.
that, because that's the stuff that they want. Like every day they ask to go somewhere,
Right.
whether it's to go get a smoothie or, Colton calls it chicken fillet. Like that's his new favorite thing. Um, and it's like,
Cost money. Yeah.
exactly. If you have 3 kids and you go all the time,
Yep.
so I think that's the better option, because then,
Totally.
they get to do what they like.
Yeah. And they'll actually remember that so much
Right.
more. Yeah. Even if
Right.
it's like a Bear Blends gift card, we've definitely done
Right.
that. That's super fun. Or like
And then
Sky
it's an outing
Zone.
with like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or a trip, right? Like I have given Gray the option for her birthday. Would you rather, instead of a party, would you rather take a trip like somewhere?
Yes, love
So we definitely like to incorporate that. Like this year I think we're
that.
gonna do a ski trip. So just as a present, like we're gonna go away, and we're gonna be able to spend this time skiing together for a couple nights. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
that creating these memories in that aspect, instead of just like stuff that they don't necessarily need, is a tradition in itself, right? Like you could plan a trip
Exactly.
every year instead of having a birthday party or doing a big gift, put that towards your next vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how fun is that? Because birthday parties can add up so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And not that there's anything wrong with it, but everyone's doing it. So if you're like, hey, instead, let's go wherever.
Yeah.
I mean, when they talk about it with their future husband or wife, they're going to be like, oh, man, that's so cool. I wish my parents did that,
Yeah. She hasn't
So that's
chosen a trip
awesome.
yet, so I'll let you know when she
She
does.
has
But
it? Oh
no.
my gosh.
I mean, Gray is such
She
a
wants the
social
party.
person. Yeah. She just like, she wants her friends there and a party. And we've definitely like pulled it down a little bit price wise, because I'm like, this does get so expensive, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, she had a great party this year, and her friends are so great here. I feel like super lucky to have the people that we have in our neighborhood and her school and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll still definitely put it out there as an option. Like we could, I don't know, you can go explore a new area. Like you can go to the beach. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to let me know.
I would rather do that than get a gift. Even like my husband was asking me like what I want, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't really need anything. And he's like, well, do you want to put it towards a trip? And I'm like, I really want to go back to Miami. So yeah, like, I don't know. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I love that for you, girl.
I know.
Love
Well,
it.
we'll see if it happens. I have a crazy
Yeah.
puppy.
So true.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this is all like really good stuff. I mean, what's some of the most important things you think of when you're creating a tradition?
I just think about the little things of my childhood that just brought me so much joy. And I just want to, when they look back, it's really important for me for them to think of like the fun and joy and just like feeling loved and special during that time. And so I just think like we talked about earlier, the cookies. There are times where I'm a little bit crazy and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're making a mess and like this cookie's coming out crazy. And there are other times where I am better at remembering like I'm doing this to make the memory, not to have the perfect cookie. If I need to, I could run to Price Chopper that's 30 seconds away and pick up a perfect cookie. Like we don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So I'm getting better, but it is kind of just reminding yourself, like I just want them to feel like happy and that this was like a fun, joyful memory when they look back.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
about
I
you?
love that. I mean, I love that aspect of like finding what brought you joy, you know, as a kid, and like seeing if it brings your child joy type of thing. I mean, that definitely, I love that. And I actually like it really this year. I really thought about tradition. I was like, do we have enough tradition? Because like, I mean, I talk to a lot of people, obviously in my career, and you know, a lot of them they go to the same resort every year. You know, they go to, and not even a holiday. I'm just saying like a vacation, or they have a lake house, or like they're at the lake at this point, or they go to the same restaurant every year. And I'm like, I was saying to my husband, I'm like, we don't necessarily like have those exact like traditions. We don't go, which is okay, right? Like, I mean, maybe you want to explore more and you want to go to a different place every year, but maybe you go to that place every April, or I don't know. Like, I'm like, we don't even have that. So I'm like, I do want to create certain traditions that like they're consistent, so like you do remember them, right? Like same thing as like decorating the tree, and then they become like just something that you like Gray knows, like, okay, we're gonna decorate our tree every year and this is a thing that we do together. And so I think like spacing those out throughout the year, whether it's a holiday or just something that you like to do as a family, like every Friday, if we're all home, which usually we always have tacos and we'll play a game. So like, and sometimes, you know, we do have things like Ray has a birthday party this weekend, so I don't know if that we'll be able to do that, but for the most part, she knows that Fridays are Taco Fridays and we are together, right? Because like the rest of the week is kind of crazy.
So fun. Yeah.
So I mean, just like trying to create those traditions like throughout the year and not just on a holiday, I think means a lot to me.
That's super important too. And I think something that simple, that actually sparked growing up, my best friend, her parents on Friday was homemade pizza, homemade popcorn, and a movie in the living room every single Friday. And we lived a couple houses down, and so like I looked forward to that every Friday, and it was her family, but every Friday I had a sleepover, and that's what we did, and it was just so fun.
No, that's so fun. I feel like I'm much better at those like little traditions because we usually make pizza every weekend too, and we'll watch a movie. I mean, life gets busy though, right? And you'll see as your kids get older, it does break that up a little bit more where there are other commitments happening. But I'm much better at those like small traditions versus like we're gonna take this vacation every single year. I feel like that doesn't happen for us. So yeah, the little traditions are fun, and that can be simple, like, I mean, a movie night or whatever, tacos, and yeah, I love that. Or church. I mean, church is definitely like a tradition. You know, Sundays are church, and unless you're ill, you know, we missed church last weekend because we were driving back from Maine, but we had it on in the car, and it was incredible message, and I'm so glad I didn't miss that.
It was so good.
But yeah, I mean, I think just like setting that boundary, because like even like Gray will wake up some Sundays and be like, I'm tired, I don't feel like going to church, and I'm like, no, like this is what we do, we go to church every Sunday, you know, so it's just like a part of our life. I
love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, I hope this is helpful to people out there, because I do think like, again, like if anybody hasn't listened to Leah Ferrone's episode, which we filmed a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure what number it is, but we talked about mindfulness during the holidays, and this is really like as we're setting up our traditions, like really zoning in and being like, what's important, right? And like a same thing throughout the rest of the year. Like, how can we create these little, you can call it a habit or a tradition, but like that our kids are going to remember, right? Like, and really like take with them into their adulthood. So I hope this is helpful, and definitely listen back to Leah's episode because that was, I mean, so many cool tools and strategies.
So good.
Yeah. But yeah, so like happy holidays. Enjoy this time with your family. And Allie, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Megan.
This was great. I'll talk to you later.
All right.